What if I told you that planning your month can majorly up your odds of achieving what you actually want and can make you happier? Sounds like a pretty good deal, right? Planning your month is more than sticking your appointments and obligations into your schedule. Yes, that's a big part of it, but to get the most bang for your buck, you need to plan for the important things. That's what this video is all about, helping you plan the bigger picture. Okay, click like if you love a good process, because same, I do too. So here are 4 steps you should take when planning your month. Number 1, the intentional checklist. The Sparta planners have a small but mighty checklist at the top of every month with these 4 things: values, people, reminders, year list. These each correspond to a section in your front prep pages. If you haven't set up your prep pages yet, watch my video on setting up your 2025 planner, where I walk you through all of that. I will take that right here. Going through this checklist should be your first step before you get lost in all the details of everything else, since these are the things that you deemed most important at the beginning of the year. Don't blame this on me. You decided it. This step honors that commitment of intention, starting with values. So here you go back to that section and you review your values and the intentions you wrote for them. Decide which one or ones you want to really lean into that month and schedule it in. For example, if health is a value and eating nourishing foods is an intention, then schedule a time block to come up with a meal plan and snack plan for the next week, 2 weeks, the whole month. Once you've done that, you can check that off and you move on to people. It's so easy to let your relationship slip by in the busyness of life. I am the number one offender of this. So I don't want you to look at me and think she must have perfect relationships. Not true. But I keep trying. This is where you go back to the people section in your front pages and you review your home team. Are there any names that really stick out to you? Is there anyone on the list that you haven't connected with in a while? Or is there someone that needs extra attention right now? Either add their name to your monthly to-do list or get scheduling right then and there. Text that person, start setting up a coffee date. So once you've planned out your connections, check that off and we move on to reminders. Are there any reminders in your month or quadrant that need to be done or scheduled in? So for me in February, it is always a time to schedule summer camps, and we also go camping. So this is a lot of the times when those camping spots open up. So February, it's like gangbusters getting signed up for all those. Okay, you've gone through your reminders, check that off the list, and finally we move to the year list. So review your year list and decide if or what actions need to be done to move that needle. Maybe you're in a month where it's insane and you don't do anything on that year list this month. That's okay, that's your discretion, but it's just a reminder to look back on it and get something scheduled in if it fits. And as cats say, if it fits, you sits. I'm pretty sure that applies here. Okay, so that's the intentional checklist. Next, we move into completing the rest of your checklist at the bottom of your month. I encourage you to treat this checklist more like a priorities list. If we play the tape forward, when we are planning our week, whether in the weekly Sparta planner or in the weekly dashboard in the daily Sparta planner, you will be referencing this monthly list as your Northern Star or guiding light or whatever it'll be your Northern Star guiding you to what you should be focusing on that week. In other words, you want your monthly to-do to reflect the really important things that you want to do that month. Your to-do list is split into 2 columns with room for a header, so you can split your to-do list into 2 different focuses. For me, I like to do personal and business. For my month ahead, for my actual month ahead, one of my personal things that I need to prioritize is collecting all the tax stuff. Like, kill me now. But it's got to get done. On the business side, I really need to and want to finish my YouTube coaching program. When you go through step 1 of your intentional checklist, you may have filled in some of these slots with that. And that's perfectly great. That you are doing priority stuff right there. Once you feel good about that, we move on to step 3, which is our schedule. Typically, I've filled my schedule as things come up. So as I come into the month, there's already a lot on there and up to date. However, I like to do a quick review of some other places to make sure that I have everything. So I go through my emails, both my personal and my business, to make sure there's nothing that I've missed. I go through the school calendar, make sure nothing has popped up there or that I've missed. The extracurricular calendar. I go through my online calendars too, my Google calendars. It's at this point, if you are gifted in color coding, then you can highlight or add stickers to really help your brain add shortcuts so you know what's your kids, what's yours, appointments, what's business, or however you color code. 1, it makes it look pretty, and 2, it adds that shortcut for your brain. And 3, you don't have to do that at all. Just an option. Step 4 are filling in those blank spaces, if you haven't already. There are 2 main blank space columns in your monthly spread. The first is a line space along the left-hand side of the calendar, and the second is a dot grid space on the bottom right. On the line space, I like putting things that pertain to the entire week, or something that's happening that week that I don't want to commit to, but it's like good to know. So for example, I have 2 school-age kids, and for their spring break, instead of writing spring break across the entire week, I just write it in that column next to the week that it corresponds with. As for the dot grid space, I use that for any random notes or reminders, or ideas for date nights, or fun things to do with the kids that month, or a lot of times I just leave that blank. If you're a monthly tracker type, this would be a stellar spot to set that up. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the 4 steps I follow when I set up my month. 1, go through your intentional checklist. 2, fill in your to-do checklist with priority tasks. 3, complete your schedule. 4, utilize the note section when needed. I usually do all of this the last couple days of the month, so I feel ready to close out the month and jump into the new one when it starts. Here's one thing you can do right now to help you get into this habit. In your monthly calendar, on the last Sunday of each month, write in plan next month. So this will help you get ahead of it. There are still 2025 planners available. So if you need one, head over to sprouted.planner.com. If you're not sure if Sprouted planners are right for you, you can try before you buy with our 2025 planner pack printables, which are totally free, and they include this monthly layout, the weekly layout, and the daily layout. So head to sproutedplanner.com/printables to grab that again for free. I'll also have that link in the notes below. Okay, so now let's hear from you. If you regularly plan your month, when do you do it? Asking for a friend who tends to plan the month 5 days into it. Thank you for spending your precious time watching this video, and I will catch you on the next one.